Hello, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And what a special evening it is, where I get to share some of my most powerful, hard-hitting, thought-provoking, challenging content that I use with my clients, that I've learned, that I've used with myself, and I've had people use with me. And tonight, I really want to share exactly how you can start to gain clarity in your life, how you can really start to understand what you want, why, and then start building that self-belief, maybe letting go of some limiting beliefs, and building that confidence. And the reason why I'm talking about gaining clarity, self-belief, and confidence are because they are the three things that I struggled with many moons ago, and so many people seem to struggle with. And when I wanted to put a masterclass and a training together so that people could understand and people could start to think and link these three things together. So I am super grateful for those who are joining us tonight. What I would love is for you to share any comments, any questions, anything you've got coming up. Please drop them in the comments box. There may be a little bit of a lag, so don't worry about if it takes me a little bit of time to come back to the comments, but we will get there. And I'd just love to just really kick off now before we really dive into anything tonight, and just to take an understanding and help you gain an understanding of what you would like to come away with tonight. What would you love to gain? What would you love to change, maybe? And what would you love to start thinking about for the future? Because this tonight is an opportunity for you to start making positive, massive, huge changes in your life. May not be huge changes now, but it may be huge changes for the future. And what I would love for you to do, my intention, which we'll come on to, is to walk away from this with clarity, new beliefs, having let go of old beliefs, and some confidence to start taking the action that you need, that you want, and everything else will start flowing. Because not only will you know what you want and why, you'll know how to do it, you'll feel confident, and you will believe, just like the sun comes up tomorrow, you will believe that you can do it. And I just want to share a little story about something really close to my heart, and something really amazing, really. And I was sat with my mum on Sunday afternoon having a brew, and she spent the last year in lockdown, challenging couple of years with my dad passing away, and she started to rebuild her life in a proper good fashioned way. And lockdown's been challenging for everyone in so many different ways. And I was sat there talking to her about certain things, and we talk about all sorts, but her beliefs came up. Her beliefs came up about something that she almost had the blinkers on, and she had this tunnel vision of something, a result. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but she was so stuck in the moment with a belief that she couldn't get out of it. I was trying to discuss it, trying to challenge her, and ultimately, she was incorrect with her way of thinking. Her way of thinking wasn't right, and it wasn't helping, and it was really holding her back. And I, with the right intent, I challenged her, and I challenged her, and I challenged her, and I talked around things, and I asked different questions, and I asked it in a different way. And she doesn't like it, to say the least. She does not like how I challenge her, because she knows that there's usually a good reason behind it. And she started crying. I actually made her cry, and that's not something to be proud of. But why I'm telling this story is because once she'd understood what I was asking her and the reason why I was challenging her way of thinking, and when she realized that she was so blinkered on certain things and she was so tunnel vision, she couldn't quite grasp it. And eventually it clicked, and it changed the way of thinking. In the end, she thanked me for saying what I said and doing what I did. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because when we believe something, it is just an element of certainty. We are certain about something. Like I said with the sun, we are generally certain that the sun will come up tomorrow. So you believe that. So if you believe something, you are likely to act upon that. And if you don't believe something, you won't act. And this is why people, including me in my past, this is why we struggle with certain things. We struggle with taking action. We struggle with gaining clarity. We struggle with confidence. Because if we don't believe that we can do something, or we don't believe that we can make a change, or we don't believe that we can take action on, whatever we want, we're not going to put the effort in that we want to, that we should, that we need to. And therefore, we're not going to get the results that we want. We're then going to feel unhappy. And then we will ultimately then feel less belief, less action, less results. And it just spirals out of control, and it gets worse and worse and worse. And this is why I wanted to tell that story, because my mum, the amazing woman that she is, believed something that wasn't true. And it was holding her back, and it was holding her back from living her life. And as we're coming out of lockdown and as things are starting to open up again, I want her to have the best possible life ever. Of course I do. And I did what I did because it had the right intention behind it. And I knew that once she'd overcome the theory and the belief, and she started thinking something differently, and she could see the bigger picture, everything changed for her. And, I'm not proud of making my mum cry, but what I am proud of is helping her think differently about things. And it was a really powerful moment. And, like I said, she actually thanked me and said, thank you for doing what you're doing and saying what you're saying, because she usually gets a little bit riled up because it's challenging. And when somebody challenges our beliefs, we feel it because we believe it's true. And I want to take this into the masterclass today, because when we feel that something is true, it's true to us. We're certain, we're congruent with it, but it doesn't mean that it's right, and it doesn't mean that it is true, and it doesn't mean that it's serving us, and it doesn't mean that it's going to help us move forward. So what I would suggest from anything that we talk about today, and any comments that we get and any questions that we get, is I always ask people, can you think differently? Could you think about it in a different way? What is the thinking behind what you're thinking? And eventually people start to realize that what they're thinking isn't necessarily the right thing. And then you're in a position where you can allow them to move forward. So let's dive in. So why am I here? Why are we all here today? And why are we discussing clarity, belief, and confidence? Well, my coaching journey started a couple of years ago. My personal development started many, many years ago. And I spent a lot of time working with females and males in the industry, but women specifically. These are the three things that women struggle with. And this is why I wanted to host this masterclass today and help you move forward and help you gain that clarity in what you want, but help you with the limiting beliefs and help you with the self-belief that you need to move forward. Because like I said, when you don't have the belief, or when you may be struggling with your belief, or you don't quite believe it, you will not take the action. And therefore we get feelings of imposter syndrome. We get feelings of anxiety. We get feelings of stress and unease and dis-ease. And we get feelings of nervousness and lack of confidence. And what they all mean usually is a lack of belief. Fearing failure, or not feeling good enough, or not feeling worthy. And when I strip it down and I work with people, we always get back to one feeling, and it's not feeling good enough. It's something I've had to work on. It's, I've done a lot of NLP work with it. I've done a lot of personal development work with it, and it takes time and time and time. And as you grow and as you develop and as you move into a new level as a human being, things will change, things will grow, and you will hit a new level. You will hit a new ceiling that you will have to overcome. And today we'll start to unlock this. And if you've got the workbook, fantastic. I'm going to dip into the workbook a little bit today, but what I want to set you up is I want to start loosening these beliefs, to giving you that possibility that you can think clearly. You can think about what you want. You can think how you're going to move forward, and ultimately how you can then start creating confidence off the back of all of that. So the workbook is it's an awesome document which you will want to spend some time working through flicking through it today if you've worked through it before, but also spending some time after this masterclass and really, really, really digging deep into it, getting yourself out into the nature maybe, and really being clear with yourself and really being open and honest. And that is what I would love today. And I'll be open and as honest as I can and share my experiences with you. Ultimately, why I'm doing what I'm doing now, but also how I've got through it, because we are always being challenged by certain things. And as I think anybody can confirm from last year and this year, we are being challenged constantly. And it's not how you get there, it's if you get there. And there are so many people getting there. And that's what is one amazing experience, is that people do get out the other side. And then we can look back in and figure out what went wrong, what went well, and then start putting things in place. Because, you know, we can look at all the good stuff. Great, that's positive thinking. That's, you know, fantastic. But we need to look at and identify areas that we need to work on as well. And these 3 areas today are 3 areas where I believe will help people the most. And whether you have business, whether you work in a job, whatever you do, these 3 things will help you take your life forward, start making a change, and start living life on your terms. So what I'd love to know, with any comments, with all the people on today, is what's most important to you. And I'd just love to know what's most important for you today to gain from today's masterclass. And I'd just love to know whether it's gaining clarity, whether it's building self-belief and letting go of limiting beliefs, or is it creating confidence? Or it may be a combination of all 3. I would love to know which one of those it is. For me, when I first started on my whole journey, understanding what I wanted was the critical thing. And a very good friend and my ex-colleague who I used to work with, he asked me a really simple, powerful question. And to put some context in it, I was going to Dublin in the morning for a trip, and we were sat outside my mum's house at 11:30 p.m. after having a curry. And he said, "What do you want from 2019?" And I couldn't give an answer. I thought I had everything sorted in my head. I thought I understood everything what was going on. I thought everything was sorted, but I just couldn't give an answer. I couldn't say what I wanted. And from that moment on, everything changed for me. Everything in my whole world changed, because I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know what to do. And once that question was asked, everything, like I said, everything changed. My whole life just went. And shortly after, we went to Australia for a few weeks, and I bought books. I was in the airport. I was drinking lots of water on the plane. I was reading. I was journaling. I was buying journals, blasting through journals, reading books, and just literally mapping out my whole life. And that one question changed my life, completely changed my life. And, you know, if I was to ask you now, you know, what do you want from 2021? Could you answer me? So my promise to you today is to challenge what's possible for you, to help you gain clarity on what you really, really want. Not what you want, not what, you know, material things, you know, these little things that we just, oh yeah, I want that. But do you really want that? What do you actually really want? You know, what do you really, really, really want from life? Just got a message from Bev there. No, you know, and that's same for a lot of people. And there's nothing wrong with that, because the amazing thing is you're here today and you're ready to change and you're ready to start making changes. So let's just commit and set that intention that we are going to find a way to understand what we want. And it seems such a simple question. What do you want from life? But we don't really know, because we set off on a journey. We think we need to get houses. We think we need to get married. We think we need to have children, all these great things. But is that what we really want? So I'm going to help you let go of limiting beliefs. I'm going to help you identify what beliefs may be holding you back, and then start to create new empowering beliefs and build that confidence. Because once you believe, once you know what you want, and once you believe, then you can start building that confidence, and then you can start moving forward, and then you can start seeing the results. So in one word, what would you like to gain from today? For me, it's to share as many things as I possibly can with you and to help you think, and then maybe to share something else with you that could also be really powerful for your future. So let's just look then at what might be holding you back currently. You know, and as I said, for me, there were a few things that were holding me back specifically that I remember now. And one of those was I couldn't own a business. And one of those was I will always be fat. That was a limiting belief, 2 limiting beliefs that I had to really, really work on. 2 things that were holding me back constantly. So what is it then that's holding you back? And I had it described from an amazing client who I started working with in January, and she described it like a powerful force. And when she described it as a powerful force, I knew exactly what it was. A powerful force, a limiting belief. And I describe it to people as trying to run down the road with a chain round your neck. And this picture paints the picture here perfectly. There's a lady trying to walk across a sand dune or a salt flats with a ball and chain strapped to her ankle, and she can't move forward. And limiting beliefs, we don't even know we've got them. We don't even know they are there. We don't even know that they exist, but we just go through life thinking, I can't do that. I can't achieve that. Oh no, I cannot make that happen. That's not for me. That's for them. You know, that's all right for them, but not for me. So let me just ask you for a moment, you know, have you ever said that? I know I have. You know, I don't say it very often now because I catch myself and I think, what, you know, why are you saying that? But we're always saying that. I always say, I can't do that. So who says you can't do that? It's something inside saying you can't do that, which is a limiting belief. And that is what we need to identify and we need to destroy ultimately to help you move forward. So it may be things like not feeling good enough. It may be a lack of belief in yourself. It may be imposter syndrome. It may be your confidence. It may be your motivation. You know, you could be thinking about your self-discipline and purpose around your goals. You know, it could be daily routine, money, family, job, business. But I can guarantee what they all do, they all link back to not feeling good enough, lack of belief in yourself, not feeling worthy, and fearing failure. They are the lowest, most powerful limiting beliefs possible. And when I question people and ask people specifically in specific ways, we always end up back there. And then once we can work on it and we can move forward. And you know, if you're making notes here now, it's just to think about, how could you feel good enough? You know, a question, what evidence do you have to say that you're not good enough? And generally, these limiting beliefs we pick up when we're very young. We pick up when we're really young, and we pick up probably between the ages of 2 and 7, before the critical faculties created. So somebody tells you you're going to be fat, or tells you you're going to be no good at something, or you're going to be worthless at 5 years old, when it's just noise and sound. We take that on and we save that and we stick with that for like forever. And that is unfair. People don't know it, but they are limiting us in life. So why are we here? Why are you here? And I've asked you to make some notes on, you know, what you would like to gain from it, and I've given you my purpose, but why are you here? And as Simon Sinek says, start with why. You know, what do you want and why? Because the why will give you the energy. The why will give you the drive. So why are you here? Is it to create a better life for yourself, for your family? Is it to get more confidence? Is it to learn a few new tricks, tools, and strategies that, you know, you've heard me talk about time and time again? Is it to understand if owning a business is for you or not? Is it to find your purpose in life? Is it to find that belief and let go of those old stories that are not serving you anymore? Is it to let go of these things that are holding you back, even though they're not protecting you from anything? The list could literally go on. And I'd like you to just for a moment, just to consider and set an intention, and just consider for a moment why you are really here. And what impact will that have if you get there? And we've got gained some belief and confidence. Self-belief and confidence. Self-belief first, absolutely 100%. Self-belief is the one. Self-belief is the key. It's the absolute number one thing that I know that has held me back, and I know it holds everybody back that I know, because all I hear is I can't do that. That's not possible. You know, speaking to a friend at the weekend, you know, stuck back in his years of being an amazing guy in the army, but he was stuck there, and it's a belief that he can't get past. He couldn't get past until I started asking a few questions, and then I said, "Could you just consider it? Could you try? Could you commit to trying?" Yes. So a happier life and work, and happier in life and success, and that is amazing. So self-belief. Do you believe that you can be happier in life and succeed in work? Because many people don't believe they're allowed to be. Many people don't believe that they can be happy. Many people don't believe that they can be a success. It's unbelievable, isn't it? That some people don't believe they are possible of success, especially in England as well. You know, we're almost set up to fail. You know, that failure is the best thing for many people. People do not like you to see you do well. You know, my whole business and my whole life is about seeing people do well. That is my success. I love seeing people do well and enjoy life, and really, really, really succeed in whatever they want to succeed in. If they want to succeed in being the best parent in the world and have the most amazing family life, amazing. I'll help you get there. If you want to make £1 million, I can help you get there emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. You know, wherever you want to go, if you've got a good enough reason, let's go. And because there's no right or wrong answer. You want what you want because you want it, and you know why. And it's usually something to do with something very powerful inside. Doing yourself proud, making yourself proud, you know, making your family proud. But if you can do it for you first, and then create a wider impact, it may be to help, you know, humanity. It may be to create a legacy. It may be to leave a legacy. It may be to create a charity. You know, that the charity is something that myself and my fiance Amy are creating, and we're going to be helping create it's called the Cactus Foundation, and the first project is going to be building an animal shelter in Spain, and then we're going to be expanding it out into South America and Central America, where we spent a lot of time, and there's a lot of people not as well off as us, shall we say, who have got such amazing possibilities and chances in life, given a chance. And you know, part of our businesses and profits and things like that over the next year and many, many years to come are going to be going into the Cactus Foundation. And that's something that we're really passionate about. You know, we've understood why we want to do it for us, but we also want to create a bigger impact as well. And that's something really, really important to us. So, you know, now we've just understood that and really start to figure out why we are here. I just wanted to explain a little bit about how I ended up in this seat today here, sharing this with you. And for those who do and don't know me, you know, I've traveled the world, I've been all over the world and had some amazing experiences, but it wasn't always fun and games. But when it all really, really started changing was in South America in 2017, and we had a plant medicine ceremony, which was quite an amazing ceremony. And it was in the most magnetic point of Cusco, which is called the Sacred Valley. And that was some photos of us in Peru and Bolivia. But the moral of the story was, at the end of the experience, it was like an 8-hour experience. I had this visualization of something that I needed to live my life by, and it was a triangle, a triad, and it was love, health, and happiness. And as long as I live in love, health, and happiness all the time, that will determine my life, determine where I go. And as long as I follow those values, everything will be okay. And that is something that I want to portray and offer and help people do and live: love, health, and happiness. Because I'm sure you would probably agree with me, love, health, and happiness are really all we need. So now it's my mission to ensure that people that I work with, people that I know, people, family, friends, all live in love, health, and happiness. So there we go. But it's not all been smiles, though. It really hasn't. It has not all been smiles. I left my job, last employed job ever, with no savings, a hope and a dream, but I had some clarity. I had a little bit of a plan, but I didn't have any backup. And I had some belief and a little bit of confidence. But the first 6, 8 months, 10 months, challenging, very, very challenging. Financially, I had to go back and do some things that I didn't really want to do. But in the long run, when I connect the dots back, it was really, really the best thing I could have ever done. And, you know, ultimately, I want to help people not do what I did, because I did what I did through almost desperation. And you don't have to do that. It's all about creating a plan, setting an intention, setting a date, setting a figure, getting a number, understanding how much income that you need coming in, or savings, or things like that. And they're all things that I know now, but I didn't know at the time. And now I do know. And this is what I want to help people with, because some people think that you can't have a business. You can't do this, you can't do that. But all you need is information. And sometimes when you think you can't, it's an element of uncertainty or lack of information or lack of a plan, a lack of clarity. And when you start to think about these things, and people get panicked, they get nervous, they get stressed, but all you need to do is just think one thing at a time and just really consider, right, okay, so what do I need to do? What do I need? How much money do I need? How do I make it work? Becky, this is perfect for you. Just going into a new venture. You know, how much money do I need in the bank? How much money do I expect to earn? You know, these are not the most important questions, but they're very important to give you that certainty so that you can do it. You know, can my partner support us both while we're on this journey? You know, how long can my partner support me for before I know that I must be bringing income in? You know, these are all questions now that I ask constantly. What do I need to do? How do I create that? Boom, boom, boom. And they're more powerful questions than I can't do it. How, why me? I'm not sure how I'll do that. And it's focusing on the solution, not the problem. And, you know, these are just two women as well that I've worked with and are working with at the moment. And it's not always been easy for these two. And there's so many women and men that I've worked with over the time. But I wanted to share this because these are two women in business in two different countries with children, pets, you know, and so many things going on in the world. But they found a way to make it a success. They found a way to take time out, to figure a way out, to get a plan, to get some assistance, you know, from me, and to help them move forward, to help them get that clarity, to help them create that self-belief, and to really, really help them create the confidence that they need in order to move forward, to take the action, and to build that mindset so that they can go through these experiences and they can grow and they can start to create the life that they want. So, are you in the right place? Well, I think you are, and this is why that little boy there is saying a hell yes, because if you're here and you're watching this, you have some questions that are unanswered. And that is the key thing. You have questions that are unanswered. It may be, what is it that I want? You know, why am I not potentially going forward where I want to be? Why are things not quite working the way that I would like them to be? And it's probably down to one of the three things that we discussed at the start. Is it a lack of clarity or misdirection in clarity? Is it a lack of self-belief or not believing in yourself, or a limiting belief that's holding you back? Or is it the confidence? Probably a little bit of all three. So if you just want to hit a hell yes, and we'll keep going. So clarity, what is it? How do we get it? And how will you know that you have clarity? For me, clarity is knowing exactly what you want in life. You want what you want life to look like, feel like, be like, and how do you want to experience life? And that's not just having a job, that's not just having a business. That is how life looks like from the minute you get up to the moment you go to bed. So, you know, what time do you want to get up? You know, how many hours a night do you want to sleep? What do you want to do in the morning? Do you want to be in a complete rush and carnage and chaos? Or do you want it to be calm and civilized? And even if you have children, do you want to create yourself 10, 20, 30 minutes where you can maybe do a bit of yoga or read or journal or meditation? You know, these little things in life are the things that we actually strive for. That's that freedom. You know, it's just, you know, what time do you want breakfast? Do you want to eat lunch with your partner? Do you want to go for a walk at midday? Do you want to create something amazing for your children so that when you come home from work, maybe, or the business or the job, you get in and you are fully there? Do you want to be replying to messages at 10 p.m. at night? I know so many people that are on the phones at 10, 9 o'clock at night, sending emails, getting emails from work or replying to messages. One thing I did very early on was like put my phone on flight mode at 7 or 8 p.m. I'm very blessed that we're all here today, but at a certain time, that's it. I don't look at any messages, and it gives me that freedom to just not look at my phone, and then the rest of the day is mine, or the evening, or whatever it may be. And a famous saying from one of my teachers, Tony Robbins, who many of you may know, and I've been coaching with him and many of his coaches, and life will pay whatever price you ask of it. So whatever you want, you will get, if you have enough reason, you have enough backing. So what do you want in life? Who do you want to become? How do you want to live? Where will you live? What time will your morning routine start and end? How many hours a day will you work? Will you have a morning routine? What time will you eat? Having lunch with my fiance is one of the best things ever. I used to work out of the house for 12 hours every single day, and now we get to have lunch together. Go for a little walk. That's amazing. That's life for me. That's control. And when you're in control, you're in charge. You feel good because you're not feeling stressed about this, that, and the other. And not everyone may be able to work from home, but I work with people that have got multi-million-pound businesses that they still go home for the lunch now. Through a pandemic, the business has improved. They're going for runs. They've just stopped working from 7 a.m. in the morning. They've now opened the office at 8:30, just a decision made, because they've realized the power of having free time and having time for themselves actually allows them to perform much better in their business as well, which is just incredible. So the business is improved, they're working less, they're exercising more, and they've got more free time at home with their families, which is just mind-blowing for me. It is amazing. So, in your workbooks as well, and just taking some time, and there's some amazing questions in there that will really help you move forward. But these are the key ones. And whether you need to journal on this, whether you need to type this down on your iPhone or your Mac or whatever it may be, but just start writing and let it flow, and just think about how you want life to live, how you want to live life. Is it going on holiday? Do you want to live in Spain? Do you want to live in America? Do you want to live in a camper van? I don't know. So once you know what you want in life, it's then about asking intelligently. And say, as an example, if you want to make 10K by June the 1st, set the date, set the time, and what you will do when you make that money. What you will do how will you celebrate? And make it as real as possible and feel the emotions, because when you link something in the brain, the subconscious, with emotions, the brain doesn't know whether it's real or not real. And then it starts going to work for us. I'm not going to go in too deep, but there's something called the reticular activating system, or RAS for short, which is like a magnet or a servo mechanism. It will magnetize onto certain things. And as an example, when my fiance and I go out for walks all the time, we spotted a French bulldog the other day, about a week ago, and we've not seen a French bulldog in ages. And we must have seen 100 French bulldogs, because our mind is focused on seeing French bulldogs. We haven't noticed any other dogs. And I know that's a bit of a cheesy explanation, but when you get focused on what you want or what you need to do, you will start doing those things. You will start seeing those things. You will start being attracted to those things, because they become part of the focus. They become part of the magnet that is the brain. They help you move towards it. So for those people that feel unlucky in life will continue to be unlucky, because they believe they're unlucky as a starter for 10, but they are always focusing on the negative. They are always focusing on how unlucky they are. Whereas we see people that are lucky, the lucky become luckier, because guess what? The mind believes them to be lucky, and the mind is always helping them to stay lucky and be more lucky. So whatever it is that you need to do in order to start this momentum and start this process, just start with something small, take inspired action, and just watch it work. And as momentum starts to happen and starts to help you flow, you will start seeing more results. You will therefore increase the magnet, and then even more things will come to you, and even more things will improve, and even more things will get better. And ultimately, it will help you start working towards your goal much better. So how do you get it? And as I've said, it's spending time understanding what you really want in life. And, you know, I talk about life a lot, and I love working with businesses, but ultimately a business is a small chunk or a chunk of a life. And many people get this mixed up. They think they have to bust their everything in order to get the life, but that's the complete wrong way around, isn't it? Because our life is our life, and life-work balance doesn't really exist, does it? We need to create a life that works for us, and a business or a job or a career that slots into that and works within how we want life to look. And as I said, you may be able to determine how long you work, what you do, what you create, but that all is part of life. And everything we do in life outside our business probably wants to be helping us towards our business. As we said with a morning routine, somebody asked me at the weekend, what do you do on a morning? I said, well, everything I do on a morning helps me within my business, but it also helps me to live a life that I want. Exercise, yoga, walking, reading. It's usually all things that are going to help me move forward, become a better human being, serve my clients at a much higher level, and really become a better person, which in turn will help my business move forward too. So I just challenge you now just to think, and you may be thinking right now, I can't do this, you know, this sounds crazy, you know, I've got to work X, Y, Z. Well, I worked probably on average 6 days a week from the age of 23 until 29. I worked most weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, you name it. I worked it from 7 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock at night in construction. That's what I did. That's what happened. That was just life, and my life had to fit around work. You know, I sacrificed so many things to work Saturdays and Sundays to get not even really extra wage, because you got taxed on it. So I would, you know, risk things on a Friday night. I'd miss out on things because I was working, because that's what you had to do. And I made a change, and everybody can make a change wherever you are in your life, whatever stage of your life you are in, you can make a change. Things can change. And, you know, going from, you know, construction project manager to life and business coach, you know, that's not a normal transition, but it's a transition that I made, I invested in, and made that change. And what I'm saying here is that you can make that change too, if you want to make a change. So I challenge you to think with no limits now, and just think, you know, you can do this. It is possible. If you believe it's possible and you start taking the action for it to be possible. Because everything is possible, isn't it? We've just put a spaceship on Mars. We can do anything. We can do anything that we want if we focus our mind on it, and it becomes laser focused. And look, we don't need to be as focused as NASA, but somewhere in between, maybe something good to start with and help you start moving forward. So I hope that that's helped you just to start working on that clarity and really start understanding about clarity and how it works and how things move on and how you will create and be the designer of your life. Because when you design things, when you're in charge of how things work and how things look, guess what? You feel much better in life as well. Because if you know that you want to work on a Wednesday, or you want Wednesday off, and you make that happen and you do things around it, you will feel happier. You will feel better. You will feel more confident. You will feel like you've got more belief as well. So, which brings us on to belief. And as I talked about at the start, belief is an extremely powerful force. It's like a gravitational pull, negative and positive. If you believe, you are going, but if you don't believe, you will stay stationary. And I can guarantee everybody watching this right now has had that moment where you just do not believe it's possible. You know, I walked again from my childhood when I was as a big kid. I walked past a fence a couple of weeks ago that I used to have to climb over to go and play football when I was a child. And I walked past it and I looked and I thought, that is absolutely tiny, this fence. You know, it was so tiny now in comparison. I'd probably jump over it. But then I remember the incantation, the affirmations is, I can't do it. I just cannot get over this fence, you know. And I was a bigger child, but I would ram it down my own mind, ram it down my own throat. I can't do this. I can't get over it. And I remember being so embarrassed that I couldn't get over this fence because there was a belief, there was a gravitational pull, there was a powerful force that was holding me back from actually taking the action and actually trying. I wouldn't even try because I told myself so many times I couldn't do it. And it was just so funny looking at it. And I thought, wow, it's unbelievable. And I need to share this because there's so many people out there that will not take any action because they tell themselves they can't do it. So a little challenge for you that's not on here, but I'd love to just ask the question. Just count how many times tomorrow you say, I can't do it. It might be 5, it might be 10, it might be 15, it might be 20, it might be 30, it might be 50, it might be 100. But just consciously be aware of how many times you say, I can't do it. And every time you say, I don't even like saying the word, and just be aware every time you say it, that's negatively reinforcing that belief about that situation. So there is some amazing questions in the workbook, but 4 key questions I would love to ask you right now. What do you believe right now? If you want to pop it in the comments. What do you believe right now? And what do you believe about yourself? And what do you believe about your future? And do you believe that you are truly good enough? And if you want to pop them in the comments, amazing. If you want to consider those, if you want to watch this back, and I'm just going to ask again, what do you believe right now? And what do you believe about yourself? And what do you believe about your future? And do you believe you are truly good enough? And just think about that for a moment. And just take some time out of this to really consider at an unconscious level. Because we can believe things consciously. But what is our brain doing behind the scenes? And our brain unconsciously is driving us, it's directing us, and it's guiding us, and it's holding us back, and it's pushing us forward. And those questions will give you some answers. And you may or may not like the answers. But I know that once you've identified the answers and the answers to the questions, you will start that journey and that process of making a change. So we've got, I don't believe I'm good enough. I know that, but I don't know what to do to change it. So I would just consider there and just ask you there, do you know what to do to change it? I think you do know what to do to change it, but you're just saying you don't to cover yourself. So maybe just ask yourself that question. How can I change it? How can I find a way to change this belief? What actions could I do and take that will give me evidence that I am good enough? You see, I don't know how to. It's like, I can't. So asking yourself a more punctual question of how can I find a way, what evidence do I need, will enable you to start giving yourself better answers. And these are the subtle changes in questions and how questions are asked, or how you ask yourself that question to get such different results. So, Bev, I challenge you and just ask you, how can you find a way to help you believe? How can you find the evidence? And is what you believe still helping you move forward, or is it holding you back? So old beliefs and new beliefs, you know, the photo there, I can do it, I can't do it, I can do it, I can't do it. You know, have you ever gone up to something or gone into a meeting or gone to an interview or something like that, and you're telling yourself over and over and over, I can't do it, I can't do it, and you've gone in and fluffed it? Or you've had, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, and this powerful force, this energy drives you through, and you go in and perform, and you go in and be the best. You know, and this is now where we need to identify these old beliefs that we picked up, that somebody gave to us, somebody threw at us, that we accepted unbeknowingly to us. And then you need to commit to taking action, to creating a new empowering belief, facing the fear and dancing with it, and then start seeing the results. Because once you've faced that fear, once you've gone down that path, that journey, that road to somewhere that you didn't want to go down, every time you do something you don't want to do, you are facing that fear, you are overcoming that belief. And this is why, again, it sounds silly and so simple. Every single morning after I've had a shower, I turn it on cold. You know, and I turn it on cold for 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds, because it's something I don't want to do. And it's going to give me that power to do other things in the day that I don't want to do. And when I turn it on cold, I don't necessarily enjoy it. But what I do is I know in the moment that I've done something I didn't want to do, and it's given me control of my mind, and it's given me control of how I move forward. So when I flick it onto cold, I celebrate that fact. Not only is it good for your mental and your physical health, is cold water therapy, but it's that decision. It's the commit. I'm going to do it. I'm going to face the fear, and I'm going to benefit from the results. You know, not saying everyone has to start taking cold showers, but it's a little thing on a morning that helps you move forward, because it helps you put you in a state of control of, I'm going to take action today. So confidence and beliefs. You might be thinking, what's he talking about? The same thing. No? Well, confidence is similar to motivation. It's just a feeling. It's limited, and sometimes it's ingrained. You know, belief is ingrained in you. Belief ingrains itself in you, whether it's good or bad. But motivation and confidence can come and go. And this is why when people say, you know, I'm running out of motivation or this or that, they actually mean that they're struggling. You know, they've not got anything else driving them. And this is when we talked about the power, the purpose. Because when you have purpose and you've got self-discipline, you don't need motivation. Motivation will come and go. It's lovely to be motivated in the moment, but it soon wears off, and confidence can wear off unless we have the belief. The belief will always be there, hopefully, but confidence can run thin. So again, just a couple of little questions for you, and I'd just love for you to consider these questions just very, very quickly. But where is your confidence right now? You know, do you feel confident? Do you feel super confident? Is it a little bit iffy? You know, and there might be certain areas where you feel really confident, and there might be certain areas where you don't. So I'd just like to just take a moment and just, where do you feel most confident? You know, is it at work? Is it at home? Is it in the gym? Is it in the makeshift gym that you might have got? You know, is it cooking? Is it working? Is it driving? Is it singing? You know, and why do you think that is? You know, why do you think you are most confident in that certain area? You know, cooking as an example, you know, I love cooking. I believe I'm a good cook. So I'm confident in that area. You know, really simple, but I believe I'm a good cook. I love cooking. I enjoy it. Therefore, I'm confident. So just like to understand what evidence do you have to be confident? But one question I haven't put on here, and I thought I had, is who can you model? Who can you find, identify, that's going to help you with your confidence about something that you may be lacking in belief in? You know, is there something you want to do or create or be like, or, you know, work under or create something like, and you're not quite sure how to do it? Could you model somebody? Could you find somebody that's going to help you do that? You know, you want a great morning routine, come and speak to me. You know, I love it. I'm the master of morning routines. You know, model mine, figure it out, understand how you work things, you know, why you do things. You know, you want to be able to play a guitar, you know, watch YouTube videos of an amazing guitarist, play the piano, do something else. You know, YouTube's fantastic for these things because it allows you to press and play and stop and pause and things like that, and really take time to understand how people do things and how people stand and how people put themselves forward and what they say and what they do and why they say it, this allows us to become confident in certain things where maybe we don't even have the belief about these certain things too. So you may be thinking, yes, I can. You may be thinking, oh my God. You may be thinking, what's going on? How can I move forward? What am I doing? You may be thinking, I've absolutely got this. Everything he's talked about today, I've got it covered. You may be thinking, I'm not really sure what I want, and I'm not really sure if I've got any limiting beliefs, and you're not really sure if you're confident in certain areas. And I can imagine you're probably a little bit of all three, where you might have a little bit of confidence in one area, you might have a bit of belief in a certain area, and you might have a little bit of clarity. But do you really know what you want? Have you understood what you want yet? Have you figured that out? And you may not have got that clarity here today, but what you may have done is started to unlock that barrier of what you can and can't do, and how you can move forward, and how things can look better, and how you can start gaining clarity and self-belief and confidence to move forward, to start taking the action, to start that business, to set up that side hustle, whatever it may be. So you may be thinking, what next? I've watched this masterclass, I've got the workbook, what do I do? How do I do it? How do I move forward? So I want to share something with you now, and there's a couple of options, and you've got two options really. You've got keep going solo, doing what you're doing, and you can get a bit of a plan together, continue to see some results, and maybe start getting there, maybe getting in that little bit of clarity, but not really succeeding in what you do. Or you could let me guide you on your journey. And I want to share this program, and I mentioned it at the start with you, and I would love to if you could let me guide you on your journey to gain absolute clarity, self-belief and confidence, action, plan, strategies to help you move forward, whether it's to set up that business, whether it's to book that holiday of a lifetime, whether it's spend days working on you, or live knowing that you can and you did. Because we all need someone to help us. And as Mark, one of my coaches, said to me, he says, a jar can't read its own label. And I'm just going to say that again, a jar can't read its own label. We can't always see in, we can't always ask ourselves the questions. Even with the workbook, you may not ask yourselves the questions that you need to ask in order to make this happen. Because sometimes, we are our own defense mechanism. We will defend things. We will bat things off. I've heard it today. I've heard somebody trying to detract from a situation that would have actually helped them if it would have opened up. So I'm introducing you now to my More Than Just Confidence 12-week group program, where I will teach you, guide you, support you towards life and the business that you may want, but most importantly, that you deserve. So there'll be no more feeling stressed, struggling with your confidence and not being sure which direction to go next, because you will have clarity, you will have total inner self-belief, and you will have complete confidence in yourself of how you move forward, what you want in life, and the action and the plan that you need in order to make this happen. So again, we've done a lot of considering today and imagining, but I'd just like you to imagine now waking up every day knowing what you want, having that clarity in your vision, and just understanding why you're doing it, and having that self-belief and confidence to be able to take the action, to be able to go out there and do that run, and to be able to go out there and do that meeting with confidence and belief that you can make it happen, to set up that side business or leave the job that you've hated for the last 5 or 10 years. So many people going back on furlough have had the amazing opportunity now to set that business up where you can move forward and you can smash it and you can live life on your terms, because it is possible. And with the right belief, the right guidance, and the right strategy, you can absolutely do that. And you can do that this year, and you can do that really effectively. So what are we going to gain? What will you gain from the More Than Just Confidence program? And it's quite simple. It's clarity, belief, and confidence, and a plan to make it happen. But some of the key things about this, where I can really help you, and a group can really help you, is ultimately is supporting together, and it's growing together, and it's learning together, and it's sharing experiences together. Because when somebody asks you a question or asks a question in a group, you are then in a position to learn from what they may or may not have struggled with, or learn from a mistake, or learn from a learning that they've had, or something that they've identified. And then you've got so many people sharing with each other of how things are, and really, really growing together and maximizing the results. You know, again, these are just a couple of clients that I've been working with over the last couple of months and year. Emma, you know, set a business up in New Zealand last year through lockdown. You know, they're both actually leaving their jobs and businesses to set up a brand new business, and it's incredible. I've been a part of that journey for over 13 months now, and it's amazing. You know, Kate didn't know what she wanted, didn't have the clarity that she wanted in life. She didn't particularly enjoy a job. Now she's moving forward with a vision of how to move forward in her life and create the life that she wants, and that's on her terms, and that's where it's at for me. Venetia, again, working for herself, and Britt, and both amazing women, both doing very, very different things, but both loving life and both getting clear on how life is for them and taking the action that they need, changing the mindset, understanding what they want, and then putting things in place and putting strategies and plans in place for them to move forward. So I know what you might be thinking now. I know you're thinking it might be great for them ladies. It might be, you know, if it's not for me, I can't do that. And I'd just like to challenge you for a moment, just before we wrap up. And I want to challenge you on why you may be thinking that. You may be thinking, yes, let's do it. And that would be amazing. You may be thinking, I'm not sure how I can do that, how I can make that happen. And I wonder why you are thinking that. Is it a belief? Is it something that is holding you back? Is it this gravitational pull? Is it this powerful force that's holding you back from thinking it's all right for them? Well, all of those people that I've talked about, and including myself, have all been there. We've all been in that situation where we didn't think it was possible. We've took that chance, and we've took that action, and we've moved forward. We've gone with our gut. We've trusted ourselves that we can make good decisions. And every single one of those people is living a better life now, having made a decision about something that they were potentially a little bit unsure of, but they knew what they wanted, or they knew what the outcome they wanted to be at the end of it. And then ultimately it's helping them move forward. So I'll just share a little bit what is included. And within the More Than Just in Confidence 12-week group program, there are 12 weeks of group coaching. There is one 90-minute kickoff NLP session with me, which will be an extremely powerful session, which is something that you do not get in group programs. You do not get a one-to-one call, but I know that people have limiting beliefs. I want to ensure that you let go of these limiting beliefs and that you wipe them out, and that we smash them out. 3 times 90-minute group calls per month. You know, private Facebook group support with all the women, all the people involved, voice message support via Telegram, access to my high performance membership for life. You know, that's for life. And then 9 group calls. And that value is a value of £3,250 plus membership for life, plus the bonus 45-minute call at the end of the 12-week program as well. So I'm sharing this tonight with an extra 45-minute bonus call at the end, which will be even more powerful to allow you to move forward and let go, and then set off on your journey after the program and start having even more success. So what does it all mean? What does all of this mean? It means the areas that we've uncovered today that you know are either holding you back or have held you back in the past, such as this lack of clarity in your life or your business, this lack of self-belief, these limiting beliefs that we're unaware of, this imposter syndrome that seems to be so popular now, this low confidence, this lack of direction and strategy, this poor planning, productivity. You know, I've dealt with procrastination, over procrastinating, low motivation, lack of purpose, low energy, stress and struggle. All of these areas come from having a lack of clarity in what you want. They're all areas that I've dealt with, I've experienced, I'm working through, and clients are working through. But you can let go of all of those, because once you know what you're doing and why, and you've got a clear plan in place, you can go ahead and absolutely nail it. So these things can disappear, and as part of the process, they can disappear together. We can get that clarity, we can get that belief, we can build that confidence, we can start taking that action, we can start seeing those results, we can create more momentum, see even more results, and ultimately live life on your terms. So what's the investment? The investment is only $14.97, and as I said, there's over $5 worth of value in all of that. I've gone mental with the one-to-ones and with extra content and with extra things that you can get with a bonus call at the end, at the start. And for fast action bonuses, if you would love to join tonight, there is a 2-hour kickoff session instead of the 90 minutes for the first 2 signups today, with an extra value of £250. And for the first 5 signups, there's a extra 45-minute call at the end. So you have a 2-hour kickoff session, 9 one-to-one, 9 group calls, and you have an extra 45-minute call at the end. And that is only available for 48 hours from now. So I'll pop the link in the comments if you would love to apply today. And both bonuses and the lowest price this will ever be, as the price will be going up. And as I said, there's £5,000 worth of coaching easily. My one-to-one clients pay £1,000 a month. So this program is something that I wanted to put together, which is really special. So what's it going to be? I'm going to pop the link in. I'm going to give you the link. I'm going to share the link with you. I'd love to know where you're at. If there are any questions, I'm going to hang on for a couple of moments as there's a little bit of a lag. And just to love to understand how you want to move forward, what you've gained from today, and if there are any other questions. Because I've loved today. Thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for all your comments. And I'm really excited to work with you and help you move forward and help you create your journey towards wherever you want to be. So if you've had your mind blown today and you've got lots to think about how you move forward, it'd be amazing if you could tag me in a little social media post. If you've loved this, it's at Chris Fawcett Coaching on Instagram and Facebook. That would be absolutely wonderful. And thank you very much. And we have a question: what is a breakdown of the 12-week group 12 weeks group coaching? So Carla, the 12-week group coaching, obviously we would have a massive kickoff session at the start, and then we would have 3 group sessions a month. So there will be 3 90-minute sessions a month for the 3 months, and we would be working on a bit of a plan right at the start, helping everybody understand where they are, where they want to go, and then it would be a split between coaching and group hot seat coaching as well. There will be an element of teaching, but mainly coaching and helping people move forward, create the plan, create the strategies, let go of challenges that they're dealing with at that point in time. Coaching, really powerful, sharing from all the group and helping people move forward. So the aim would be, depending on where you are in your life and business right now, we would set some quite specific goals for the end of the 3 months, and everyone will be working towards those. And ultimately, I would like to put a group goal together, whether it's an income, whether it's a challenge, whatever it may be, but we would ultimately create a group goal as well, where the group supports each other and helps them move forward. So in terms of the bonuses, you'll get the extra 30-minute one-to-one call. So there'll be 2 hours at the start and a 45-minute at the end, and then 9 one-to-one calls in between, plus the membership for life, which is there's 50-odd videos on there, Telegram support, and a private Facebook group too. So all the details, if you would like any more details, that would be amazing. What I can do is I can share the link in the chat from the live today, and you can have a look at the sales page. If you've got any questions, please give me a shout. There is an application in there as well. And the main thing here is I will only be accepting the right people for the right group, and to ensure that the group's design is perfect for everyone to move forward successfully. So I will put the application page in the comments, and thank you very much. I look forward to hearing from you all very soon, and thank you for sharing and being open and honest with yourself. If you have any other questions, please reach out to me, private message me, comment in the chat. Amazing. Thank you. Good evening.